So further to this, let's have a look at sort of just my 3 big tips. So my first one is to work through the study design. So the study design is intended as a guide, and it's really important that you utilize it as one. So the study design, study guide, whichever one you want to call it, has many examples, definitions, suggestions on how to sort of approach the content for the exam. Utilize this. So utilize it as a checklist. Go throughout the year and familiarize yourself with the topics. And especially the ones that they emphasize. They do emphasize some topics more than others. So be prepared to, be on top of that stuff. Meet your new best friend. So if the study design does not become your best friend, the data booklet will. This data booklet will look probably pretty foreign right now. You're probably going to open it up, so you can just search up VCE Chemistry Study Guide, or it comes as a PDF. Sorry, not study guide, data booklet. And you'll have a look at it and you'll be like, this is really foreign, what is this? It's super handy, and as you progress through all the content, you'll start to understand what everything is. I would suggest having one printed out at the start of the year, or your teacher should have copies of them somewhere, and then sort of label and annotate it as you go. Now, really key point, in the exam, you get a fresh one. You do not get your data booklet that's all annotated. You get one that has nothing in it. I do apologise, I have a bit of a cold at the moment. You get one with nothing in it, and so the annotations will not be useful then. So really, really important that you have as you go further into the year and you start to do some practice exams, you use fresh ones, you don't use your annotated one. Now, your annotated one will be useful throughout the year as you learn, but when you get to the end, you want to start using fresh ones. And then my next point is sort of a bit of a self-explanatory one. I want you to work hard, but more importantly, I want you to work efficiently. Now, what does that mean? That means I want you to prioritize study that will have the largest possible impact on your result. And this essentially just means to focus on areas you struggle with, and even if you dislike it. Now, for me, it's really funny. I'm going to use an example outside of chemistry. For me, I remember back in the day, I detested English. I hated English with all of my body. English was my least favorite subject. It still is. My spelling, my grammar is still shocking. But I disliked English, but I knew English had to be one of my top 4. So what did I do? I put my head down and my bum up, and I grinded out. A large proportion of my study in year 12 was to English, and particularly I don't remember what they call it, to be honest. That's how long ago it was, and I haven't touched an English essay since then because I detest English. The whole getting an article from a newspaper and breaking it down and writing about it, that whole aspect was my least favorite. I detested that, and yet I knew I had to do it. So I did it. I practiced, and I got really good at it. Same thing with chemistry. If there is a topic you dislike, for me, it was electrolysis. I did not like electrolysis. So what did I do? I focused on it. It was actually the one that I did really average in for all my SACs. And that's where I sort of realized I disliked it. I was okay while learning it. It was a bit, And then I did the SAC and I just really did not like it. And then I was doing study afterwards and I really did not like it. But I realized to myself that I was struggling with it. I needed to find a way to get better at it. So I practiced, and I managed to do reasonably well at my electrolysis question on my exam. And that's what's really important. So throughout the year, you need to learn how to answer questions. It's a skill itself, but you also need to focus on the areas that you are struggling with. It's a really key point here. Always review your SACs and focus on the errors you made under pressure, because you make different errors under pressure to what you make when you are, not under pressure. Now,